Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's Dealer On webinar, the new rules of social media for maximum results in 2017. My name is Eliana Raggio and I'll be your moderator today, and today's webinar is being presented by Dealer On. For anyone who isn't familiar with Dealer On, we're an award-winning website development company and digital agency, best known for our amazing SEO, the best customer service, and the highest converting website designs in the industry, including the award-winning Chameleon responsive website platform. We're so committed to lead conversion, optimization, and customer service that Dealer On is still the only company in the industry that offers a money-back lead guarantee program. Does your website company guarantee you a 50% lift in leads or your money back? Maybe you should check us out at our gorgeous brand new Dealer On website at dealeron.com. Also, Dealer On is going to be hosting another Topgolf event. This time it's in Scottsdale, Arizona on December 7th. Yes, it's Google Golf and Cocktails. It's a recipe for awesomeness. Space is limited though, so if you'd like more info on this amazing event, please check out tinyurl.com/ScottsdaleTG. Oh, and if I forgot to mention it, let me tell you, all of this greatness is free, so we hope to see you there. We have a great show in store for you today. We're very pleased to have Scott Empringham as our presenter today. Scott Empringham is the owner and CEO of Flashpoint, a social-first digital agency that boasts over $1 billion of cars sold via social and counting. For more than 20 years, his passion has been helping car companies and their retailers break through the clutter using digital marketing and social media to drive results in the areas that matter most, sales and service. Scott has worked with nearly every major OEM, Ford, Toyota, Cadillac, GMC, Buick, Honda, Lincoln, Chrysler, Jeep, Fiat, Dodge, Lexus, phew, and their dealer groups as well, and over 2,000 dealers, both in the U.S. and overseas. Flashpoint has garnered tremendous recognition for their unprecedented social media innovation and technology, including numerous awards such as a National Telly Award and Event Tech Awards. With prestigious accolades like Best Use of Technology and Best Use of Facebook, it's no wonder that Scott has become an in-demand speaker at some of our industry's biggest conferences, including Digital Dealer, Brand Innovators, and RVDA. He can be reached at scott.empringham@fpcdigital.com. Now, during the presentation, if you have any questions, please use the question feature located at the corner of your screen to submit them. At the end of the presentation, we'll answer those questions of general interest. If we're unable to get to your question live, we're going to try to respond by email later today. Don't forget, a link to download a copy of this webinar recording will also be emailed to you later today for your reference. Feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. And guess what? We got a whole ton of great prizes from our good friends over at Flashpoint that are going to be given away today on the webinar. First, one lucky attendee is going to win a Gary Vaynerchuk book set, Ask Gary V and Jab, 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 Right Hook. Next, one lucky attendee is going to win a Snapchat campaign valued at $200, and it includes everything you're going to need: a personalized account management, the media buy, as well as a custom Snapchat geo filter. And then finally, one lucky attendee is going to win the grand prize, a $5,000 custom ad campaign designed to drive shopping traffic and leads for the vehicle or vehicles of your choice. And Flashpoint is going to handle everything for you. All you have to do is manage the leads and sell the cars. Everything's going to be turnkey. The only thing they ask is if you love the results, you agree to give them a testimonial so you can become a case study for other dealers. This is an awesome prize and a great prize for the holidays right around the corner. Tremendous prizes for your dealership. But the trick is you have to be on the live broadcast to win it, so stay tuned, and who knows, you could be one of the people walking away with one of these awesome prizes today. And at the conclusion of the webinar, you're going to get a short survey, so fill it out. We're always looking for great feedback from our audience. We want to know what you have to say. And hey, do you tweet much? We hope you do. We'd love to see what you have to say about today's presentation, so tag us in it. You can use hashtag DealerOnWebby. I'm at Eliana Raggio. You can also hit up Scott Empringham at, you guessed it, Scott Empringham. Now we look forward to seeing what you're saying. Let's get started. Let's learn the new rules of social media for maximum results in 2017. Scott Empringham, longtime listener, first-time presenter. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And for those of you who don't know, I actually had the pleasure of seeing Scott perform perform. He was presenting in person, and I got to see him in person. Phenomenal presentation. So of course I had to ask him to do one with us, and that's why he's here today. And you are like the social media guru out here. So thank you so much for being here today. And I love your topic, and I've gotten a sneak peek at your deck. It's amazing, and I can't wait for you to start. Where do we begin on the new rules of social media?
Well, I got to say thank you so much for inviting me. And when we met, I have to say one thing at the top of the hour, is when we met at Digital Dealer, no kidding, a handful of people came up to me and said, if you have a chance to work with the Dealer On folks, they are fantastic. It's a privilege to work with them. And one person even described it as a benevolent mafioso, this tight grip, knit group of people that are fantastic to work with, that care about their customers deeply and passionately. And if I have a chance to work with you guys, jump at it. So that's why I'm here.
Well, thank you so much for that. That was great. I appreciate that, and thank you so much. I know I kind of jumped in, you're like, hey, webinar with me, and you're like, okay, and now you're here today. I love it. Yes. Why don't you tell everyone the kinds of things we're going to be learning about today?
So we're going to be talking about 5 things. Number 1, we're going to talk about global trends that are impacting dealers right now, and they may not be aware of it, and if they are aware of it, they can take advantage of some of these things. 2, we're going to talk specifically how to do the things that have made us successful for all of our dealers, and we're going to be very, very specific. It's not going to be theory. It's going to be step-by-step how to take advantage of some of the new rules of Facebook and social media right now to give them an edge over dealerships next to them, why they need to be on Instagram and Snapchat, and some really cool hacks to get them jump-started on those things in an effective way for them. And then, of course, we've got some giveaways, and we've got some time for questions and answers, so I'm super excited.
Let's do this.
All right. All right, well, maybe the place to start really is about a year ago, a little over a year ago. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. I got a phone call, and the world completely changed for me and for Flashpoint. And it's a true story that I start off with to give people an idea of how things have changed. It was 4 o'clock in the morning. My cell phone goes off. The phone was coming in, a call was coming in from 313 area code. It happened to be someone we work with back at Ford. And the night before, we launched a national Facebook campaign for the country. It was a national campaign. It was on behalf of 20 or 25 dealer groups, dealer ad associations, and it simultaneously launched on about 1,900 individual dealer Facebook pages. And the reason my phone was ringing was because the gentleman that managed the Ford database was convinced that the campaign had been hacked. See, the problem was we were generating 7,000 leads a minute, and the entire system was clogged, and he thought there had to be a problem because he'd never seen a Facebook campaign generate leads like this. And literally, he was unable to get all the other leads, including ours, down to the dealers. And so he was in a panic.
Wait, it was 7,000 leads a minute?
7,000 leads a minute. And so it was completely clogging their system.
What was the campaign for? Oh my gosh.
It was for a national sales event called EcoBoost Challenge. And what we'd done is we'd launched a campaign with a technology we have, but it was simultaneously published across all the dealer pages, across 20 or 25 dealer group pages, and of course on the national site. We had partners, and it was a very successful campaign. And what we'd done is, or the issue was, he said, I'm convinced it got hacked. I got my partner on the phone, and to be perfectly candid, I thought maybe something was going wrong too. I got my partner on the phone. We looked at the data. We found out that we deduped the data. It was clean. There wasn't a bunch of multiple entries. And then they were also like 98% of them were new to Ford Motor Company because we were doing a conquest campaign. So once I got the green light that everything was fine, really it became a matter of just writing a quick program so that the leads wouldn't be distributed instantly, but they would be metered out over time to lessen the load on the servers. Problem solved in about 15, 20 minutes. But the real takeaway was this. We sat back that morning and realized the world had changed, where before March of last year, most people viewed Flashpoint, my company, and Facebook as a social media platform. We scratched our heads that day and really decided this was not a social media platform, but it was a CRM platform, or had the potential to be a CRM platform. And clearly, every day since March of last year, has confirmed that with us. And so I tell that story not to impress anybody, but to impress upon them. That's the goal of this presentation today, to teach you step by step, if you aren't already doing these things, how to do the things that made us successful, and you can do exactly the same things. We're going to teach you step by step. So with that in mind, we got a call shortly after that to go back to Menlo Park and sit with the automotive team over at Facebook, and they shared 4 or 5 global trends that I really thought were so compelling that I'm going to share them now. And one of them was simply this, and this is kind of just a mind blower. From the beginning of time to 2003, we as a civilization have generated 5 billion gigabytes of content. That's a massive amount of content. So that's everything from the Bible to the Library of Congress, everything you could possibly imagine. That's how much content we as a civilization have generated since the beginning of time. Here's the question that we'll often ask in a digital deal or at different conferences. We'll ask, okay, if it took that long to generate 5 billion gigabytes of content, how long does it take us today? In fact, I'll ask you, Eliane, is it 5 years, 10 years, 2 years? Take a guess how long it takes us to generate that much content.
I'm going to go with 1 year.
All right, 1 year. And it's absolutely, we get so many guesses, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Every 10 minutes, we're generating 5 billion gigabytes of content. That's a staggering amount of content. But so from our perspective and from the listener's perspective on the phone, we don't necessarily care about the content that's generated, although it's a massive amount. We do care about where it's consumed. So where is it consumed? I'll ask you one other question. How many times do you suppose you interact with your mobile phone in a given week? Is it 100? Is it 500? 1,000?
If I could have it like surgically implanted to my hand, I would completely do that. I'm never without my phone. So I'm going to say I lovingly caress it at least like 80 times a day.
80 times a day. Well, so you're not too far off. My guess is you might lovingly caress it more than that, maybe 200 times a day, but the average person interacts with their phone probably about 1,500 times a week, 200 times a day, and I'll ask you this. Do you use it as an alarm clock?
No, I don't. No, I know a lot of
people
do not.
Do that. Okay.
No, but I use it like when I have appointments. So I guess it's like an alarm clock. So it tells me,
okay,
you're 15 minutes away from your next appointment.
Excellent. Well, when I'm in a room full of people, as you might imagine, there's 200-300 people, and we're giving a webinar or a workshop or something like that. It's mind blowing. I happen to use it as an alarm clock. My guess is out of the folks that are on the call, many of them would say yes, they use an alarm clock. So for them and for me, it's the first thing and last thing we're interacting with in our day. So we're obviously glued to that, and that's just a really important point to make, that we're absolutely glued to our phones. The next question is this, is that we're glued to our phones. What are we actually doing on our phones? Where are we spending our time? This pictograph represents what we're actually doing on our phone. Now, as you look at it, some things are intuitive. What are we doing on our phone? The average monthly minutes go to Google, YouTube, Yahoo, Snapchat, etc. But there's one thing that's missing. And the reason it's missing is that Facebook and Instagram represent more time spent on our phone in monthly minutes than all other applications combined. It has become not so much a social media platform, but a media platform, one of the largest media platforms on the planet, 1.8 billion users worldwide, 180 million users in the U.S. That's more than half the U.S. population using Facebook 40 minutes or more every single day. And so this pictograph really just drives on one basic point, that it is among the largest media platforms on the planet, and we spend more time on it than all other platforms on our phone, on all other platforms combined. That's a staggering idea. And once you get that, you realize that this is where the fish are, and if this is where the fish are, we best understand how to fish properly. So I think that takes us to a poll question.
Ah, yes. Audience, you know how this goes. This is your first of 4 poll questions today. We'd love to see your answers to this. The question is, do you currently access and or use the external Polk data that is available through Facebook? Please select one of the following answers. Yes, I do. It's great. I'm here to learn more about that. Yes, but we hardly ever check that Polk data, but we know how to access it. No, but I think maybe we probably should be using that external Polk data. No, I don't think so. We outsource our social media, so somebody takes care of all that for us. Or I had no idea I could access external Polk data through Facebook. Hey, hopefully one of these answers is what's happening at your dealership, and if it is, get your vote in now. Once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll and share the results. I also want to encourage everyone, if you have a question for the social media guru, Scott Empringham, send those questions in. We will be holding most of those questions or all of those questions towards the end of the presentation, but we want to know how we can help you be more successful on social media in 2017. All right, votes are coming in fast. Real quick, once again, do you currently access and or use the external Polk data that is available through Facebook? Yes, it's great. I'm here to learn more about that. Yes, but we hardly ever check that Polk data. No, but I think we probably should be checking that Polk data. No, I don't think so. We outsource our social media. Or you know what? I didn't even know you could access Polk data through Facebook. Is that right? All right. Scott, if you're ready, I'm going to close this poll and share the results. We'll see what you think, all right?
You bet.
Here we go. Thank you, audience, for all of your votes. All right, here we go. 29% of today's audience said yes, they do access it and use that external Polk data. It's great for them, and they're here to learn more about that. 8% of today's audience said they know that they can access that Polk data, but they admit they hardly ever check it. Now, a quarter of today's audience, 25%, said, no, we don't do that, but I think we should be doing that. 6% of today's audience says, I don't think so. You know what? We outsource our social media. I'm pretty sure we don't do that. And then the majority, 31%, said they had no idea you could access or use external Polk data through Facebook.
That's fantastic information. That's really fantastic. And so the takeaway for me is that if I had my math correct, about 60% didn't access Polk one way or the other, or they weren't aware of it. And that has been the single largest game changer with Facebook. And so many people aren't aware of this, but I'm going to walk you through a couple of things, and I think it'll highlight a couple of really important points, and it'll start to shift in your mind, again, from this concept of being a social media platform to a CRM engine, to a CRM platform. The game changer is this. Facebook did a deal with Polk, and when that happened, we now have the ability to merge two sets of data. So as a marketer, as a dealership or a dealership marketing a group, we could go in and look at a specific market area and identify two pieces of information, pull them together. We can look at all the identifiers within Facebook, a demographic, likes, interests, habits, lifestyles, and things like that, but we can then merge that data with their garage data, what they own, how long they've owned it, even if they've leased a vehicle and when they're going to be in market. And as a result, we now have this data set of Facebook external data, and in a second I'll even show you how we can match that with our internal data, but it's like a direct mail platform, but with huge savings, 80% savings over direct mail. There's no printing or postage. Everything you could do with direct mail, what I'm going to assert today is you could do with Facebook and cheaper and faster, and do it in a way that as you're, imagine dropping direct mail, you're learning from each campaign, each piece of direct mail that drops. That's really where we are, and that's the single biggest game changer for dealers, that when you're aware of that, you can use that to your advantage, and that's the subject of this presentation, or some of the presentation. Here's a quick example. This is where I live. I live in Laguna Niguel. I'm this old. I went to these schools. I work at Flashpoint. Here's the key, though, is now that people, now as a marketer, I can scoop up guys like me if I'm marketing vehicles here in Southern California, and I can say, I want to target these people, and I want to find people that are likely to drive an SUV. Well, clearly, once I've got access to the Polk data, I can scoop up guys like me, or men and women like me, who own an SUV or lease a Lincoln, or lease an SUV, and then I can look and find out that this guy's SUV, his lease, is up in a month and a half. These people are going to be in market or highly in market. They're ripe to target. So all those tools are available, and we're going to teach you that today. And then even more importantly, how to find people in such a precise way. Obviously, people are aware that you could do geo-targeting on Facebook, but not too many people know that you could do it as granular all the way down to DMA, city, postal code, and here's a really cool thing, a business address. We had a meeting with Ford and GM and Chrysler. And what we will sometimes do before the meetings is about a week in advance, we will put a pin on Ford World headquarters or GM or Chrysler, wherever we're going. We'll put a pin on that specific location and serve video ad units to everybody at that specific address. And then it's always funny to see the impact when I go and have a meeting. They'll go, I couldn't get away from your video ad. You guys did a great job targeting me. And so that's what people can do, dealerships can do. If you have a military program, you could literally put a pin on a military base and serve private offers to the military folks at that military base. First-time buyer program, put a pin on a college, and you can serve ads to not only that college, but then you can even segment by in-market timing. Very, very powerful, and that's what we're going to teach you today. So here's the 3 primary questions we get. And ask yourself if you have these sort of questions. Once you find out that there's all these tools available, a lot of times dealerships will say, okay, I want to do this myself, and that might be you listening. Where do I get started? What's the most efficient way to go about it so I can begin converting leads and sales immediately at the lowest possible cost to get some traction? And then finally, teach me step by step how to do it. And that's going to be the subject of the presentation, but we're going to do it in a little bit different way. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to walk you through the webinar in the next 45 minutes. I would invite you to write this URL down. I will come to it at the end, but please take a picture of it, write it down. And the reason is obviously I don't have time to go through everything that we're going to do in detail, but what we've done is we've produced some free videos for you guys. So everything that we're talking about on this website, you'll be able to go and pull down these 3-minute videos that walk you step by step how to do this. Plus there's templates, there's case studies, and even there's an e-course that you can give us your email address for, and then every 10 weeks we will send you a note reminding you of one of the principles we talked about, giving you additional resources for that principle, and then even offering you action items to make sure you can take advantage of those things that week to help drive sales this weekend. So hopefully you got a chance to write down the address, and we'll go ahead and get started. Here is the first hack, and we call it the fan hack. But before I tell it to you, we do have a second poll. Eliana?
That's right. Our second poll question is on the screen now. Come on now, people, let's answer this poll question. Are you actively spending money on growing your Facebook fan base? Please select one of the following answers. Yes, and it's working great for us. Yes, but we aren't seeing the results we would like. Not yet, but we're thinking about it. No, we used to, but we just couldn't justify the ROI. Or no way, more money for golfing. That's what we want to know. Those votes are coming in fast. Thank you so much, audience. Are you actively spending money on growing your Facebook fan base? When we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll, share the results, and then you're going to learn your first hack today. How many hacks do you have today? 10?
Yes.
10 hacks. This will just be the first, all right? David wrote in, is this the same as getting likes?
Yes, very good question. Yes, it's the same as getting likes. Another way of phrasing it is like ads, buying like ads.
Are you buying like ads? All right. We'll give you another few seconds to answer this question, then we'll close it down. Are you actively spending money on growing your Facebook fan base? Yes, it works great for us. Yes, but we're not seeing the results we'd like. Not yet, but maybe soon. We're thinking about it. We used to. We couldn't justify the ROI. Or no way. We need more money for golf and pizza. All right, let's close this poll and share the results. Are you ready for this, Scott?
Yes, I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right, here we go. All right, a quarter of today's audience, 25%, said yes, and it works great for us. The majority, however, 44%, yes, but we aren't seeing the results we'd like. 17% of today's audience said not yet, but we're thinking about it. 12% of today's audience said we used to, but we couldn't justify the ROI. And 2% said, no way, more money for golfing. I want to party with you people. All right, here we go. Scott, is that what you were expecting to see? Is this what you kind of see? Are most dealerships not spending money or not?
No, this is really representative of what's currently out there. And for those folks that said, yes, it's working great for us, yes, but we aren't seeing the results, and no, not yet, but we're thinking about it. This next hack is for you guys. It really is for you guys. The world has changed so much, and when I share this with you, I think you'll be surprised. I know I was. Here's the hack. So many of us, myself included, we were interested in growing our fan base. Why? Because as we generated likes on our business page, it was a wonderful way to make a post on our business page, and then our fans would see it. It's really intuitive. We had 100 or 1,000 fans or 5,000 fans. What better way to make a post and have everyone see it? The world has changed so much, and when I share this with you, you'll say, oh, I get it. Everyone on this call has at least heard once or twice or more about how Facebook is changing their algorithm and beginning to monetize Facebook. And the way they're doing that is they're changing the organic reach. In fact, they've already changed the organic reach. Now watch this. What I'd like to suggest moving forward is that you do not buy like ads, except in very rare cases. So I'm going to just stretch a point to make a point and suggest for a second, go with me on this. I don't want you to buy like ads in 99% of the situations, and here's why. First question is, I get this comment a lot. Well, it's for cosmetic reasons because I don't want somebody to come to my business page and find out I only have 100 likes or 200 likes. Question, Eliana, what percentage of people do you think visit the Dealer On Facebook page? How many people actually come to the Facebook page, or I shouldn't be so specific, any other business page? What percentage of the people actually do you think visit a dealership Facebook page? Is it 10%, 50%, 80%?
Oh, I can't imagine it'd be that many. Maybe let's go with 10%.
Okay. It turns out about less than 1% of the people ever actually go to a dealership Facebook or excuse me, a dealership Facebook page or any other business page. And think about your own use, and everybody on this call, when you access Facebook, when you click on the app, do you actually go off to the page, or do you scroll through your newsfeed and the content comes to you? The answer is clear. The content comes to you. You don't go to the Facebook page unless you're the owner of it and you're checking it. That's the first sort of aha moment. And according to Facebook and the data that we've seen, and just practical sort of use, when you think about your own use, less than 1% of the people ever actually go to a business page. So there's really no cosmetic reason for you to actually worry about the likes. But here's the more important reason. Your posts, more and more, aren't reaching your fans anyway. And here's what I mean. Take a guess. At first, let's define terms. What I'm calling organic reach of your fan base is, let's say, Eliana, you've got Eliana Inc. dealership business page, and you've got 100 fans. In the old days, 2 years ago, you had 100 fans, and when you'd make a post, 80 or 90 or 100 of those, or some number, 80, 90% would see that, and it was great for you because it was free. Take a guess, and organic reach is specifically defined as the percentage of fans that you reach without advertising. It's purely organic, okay? What percent do you think organic reach is today, on average, for dealership pages? I think the number is going to surprise you.
Gosh, well, I have no idea. I mean, I'd hope it's somewhere up high, like 40% or so.
40%, 50%, somewhere in there. It used to be. At the beginning of this year, Facebook announced it might as well be 0%. It's headed towards 0% by the end of this year. And the reason is they're monetizing Facebook. And they have a bunch of other reasons. This is sort of my interpretation of it. Whether my interpretation is right or wrong, it's immaterial. Dealers right now, if they're watching their organic reach, they're noticing that it's 1, 2, 3, maybe 4%, which is to say your posts, if you don't pay for advertising or pay to reach people, it's like standing and speaking in an empty auditorium. It doesn't matter. No one's going to hear it. This is a very, very important understanding. And when you understand this, you understand that it is a paid media moving forward. And the old days of likes, comments, shares, and engagements are over. For our clients, there's a couple of sets of data we look at. How many leads did you generate? How many conversions to a vehicle display page where people are actually shopping the vehicle? And then how many sales or services did you generate from the ads? Because as of today, moving forward, I'd like everybody on this call to consider, first of all, Facebook a paid media. It's one of the largest ad platforms out there, but think of it as like a CRM engine that you pay to find the right audience at the right time with the right message. These are the success metrics if you're spending money leads, conversion, sales, and service. So the first hack is just this. You have to pay to play. And the old days of buying like ads are over. There is some value to likes and fans. If you do have them, fear not. There's still all kinds of cool ways to leverage insights from them. But moving forward, I would highly suggest forget about like ads. Start finding people to drive conversions, leads, and sales. That's the first hack. Here's the cool thing. If you buy that theory, if you buy that fact that organic reach is down to about 1 or 2%, it's headed to zero, then the next question is this. If I have to pay to find the right audience and really drive leads and sales, then how do I do it in the most efficient way? Enter a guy named Jay Abraham. We learned a lot from Jay. I've heard him speak a number of times. They call him the $9 billion man, and for how much he gets for his clients, drives revenue for his clients, and I think probably how much he charges to speak. But here's something we learned from him.
I was going to say, that's a pretty cool nickname, the $9 billion man.
Right? I remember the $6 million man back in the day.
I remember Lee Majors?
What's that?
Lee Majors.
That was him. That was him in those little jumpsuits or whatever he got. He basically said this. There's only 3 ways to grow a business. So as you're listening to this, check me and see if this applies to you. There's only 3 ways to grow a business, whether it's a digital marketing company, a popsicle stand, or a dealership. Number 1, increase the transaction value of current customers. That is, someone comes in to buy a vehicle. While they're buying it, see if you can add value and show them the wisdom of maybe buying some accessories or some maintenance plans. Upsell them on something. Second way to grow a business is increase the frequency of purchase. Someone comes in to buy a vehicle, and make sure that you get them back in for multiple services or the lifetime service, so that increases not only the revenue associated with that customer, but the likelihood of them buying another vehicle. And then the third one that everybody knows about is increasing the number of new clients. If you think about all the ways you can grow a business, really these are about the 3 ways you could approach it systematically. The question is, where do you start? Where is it most efficient to start? And where can you make the most immediate progress? In meeting after meeting after meeting, and webinar after webinar after webinar, what we found is the best place to start oftentimes for new advertisers is with their current customers. We can get some traction right away at the lowest possible cost. And if you're considering doing Facebook advertising for your dealership on your own, I would highly suggest you watch this hack. This is for you. Quick case study. Paragon Honda, out in New Jersey, your neck of the woods, did and still does an exchange program and has enormous success with a direct mail program for their exchange vehicles. What they do is they mine their database and look for people who have positive equity, and they market to them, and they basically tell them, hey, come on in for $9.99 oil changes, can't say no deal, and while you're getting your car serviced, we can then go to you and say, geez, you've got this vehicle, we'll buy this from you, and we can actually get you into a brand new one, and maybe even save you money, or keep the price the same, and you'll just be in a new one. It was an enormously successful direct mail campaign, and what they asked is they said, listen, with the new tools of Facebook, I wonder if we could basically mine our database, import it into Polk, literally take our database that has in-market customers, drop it into Polk, serve them these $9.99 oil change offers with a lead gen ad. What would happen if we did that? The first thing they noticed is, of course, they had an 80% savings over direct mail. They had a tremendous redemption rate of 49%, 101 oil change coupons redeemed, and then a $79 average advertising spend per new car sold. Massive success, and we've modeled this, and we've done this for so many of our customers that I'd highly suggest if you aren't doing this, it's dirt cheap. You can serve offers. You can complement a direct mail program you might be doing, but consider complementing whatever you are doing or supplementing it with mining data from your customer database, uploading it to Facebook, and going right after them, right after your best customers.
Wow, that's really
In a 3-minute video, on our website, we actually walk you through exactly how to take your email database, your customer database, upload it into Facebook, and serve ads directly to them. And you can even exclude those audiences that are not in market or they just bought from you. We walk you through it step by step. It's a 3-minute video that shows you exactly how to do what Paragon Honda did. And it's so cheap and so easy to do. All you need is a little bit of instruction. So If you now say, okay, I get this, I want to start with my customers, and I'm going to create an ad. A question, where do you start in creating an ad, an image or the copy? Well, I would suggest all the data shows that our eyes recognize an image or are attracted to an image much more easily and quickly than copy. So the place to start is with an image, and one of the quick hacks, I'll show you 3 things to make your images pull more. The first one is so simple, and you'll know it's true. Think of it as like a billboard. An image that just is so simple that if you're driving by it at 80 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour, you're going to get it. A vehicle and a headline, a vehicle and a benefit. Something that you can get and digest easily and quickly is the way to go. The other thing that's really important is just jot this number down if you haven't already. 1200 by 628. The size is really important to make sure that the most relevant information isn't cropped off. We've seen so many images when we take over accounts from other sort of vendors. We'll look at some of the ads that they've been doing, and we'll see that a lot of times the most important information is lost to the consumer when they're scrolling through the news feed. You don't want that to be you. And the third thing that's really fast and easy to do is understand the 20% rule. If you are creating Facebook ads, and you do want to include a headline as an example to really get some stopping power, you have to obey the 20% rule, which simply says the headline or the copy in the image cannot be any more than 20% of the total image. This will save you a lot of time, and if you just go to the link right here, facebook.com, and this will be in our presentation, we'll get it out here. It's available on the one website address that we gave you at the beginning, and we'll give it to you again at the end. Click on this link, and it's an ad builder tool, and it'll tell you exactly how you're doing, and your image is okay. So that's just a few things about your image that'll really help you make a stopping image. This next hack is probably the one that we get the most email about, and in audiences, I'll ask people, how many people are actually, I think in fact one of the poll questions we found out that 20-some-odd% are outsourcing it, and many are probably likely doing it themselves in terms of generating the ads and the copy and the images for their advertising. But few, if any, are professional copywriters where they've really studied direct response advertising. We had the good fortune to work with a fantastic copywriter that modeled what he did from a guy named Dr. Robert Cialdini. And Dr. Robert Cialdini is a very, very interesting guy that is a master of persuasion and a master of influence. And in the 80s and 90s, he did something extraordinary. He went undercover and studied the Wolves of Wall Street, some of the greatest salespeople in the world and their sales programs. He infiltrated religious groups and looked at how they influenced people to give money to a group that they did not even know anything about, but they watched how, and he studied how these different groups were able to raise money. And he even modeled it from door-to-door salesmen. Some great stories about one door-to-door vacuum salesman that just sold lights-out vacuums. And then finally watching how people ethically raised money for different charities. And he put them together in what he called a book called Influence, the 6 principles of persuasion. And these 6 principles, I promise you, if you just print this out, and on our website we've got a little printout, you set it right by your computer when you're doing the ads, these principles can double, triple, or quadruple the rate of conversion on your ads, and they're really simple. I'm going to go through them now, and you can ask yourself if these principles motivate you. I promise you, 3 or 4 or 5 of them do every single day. One of them is just this, reciprocity. Have you ever, Eliana, gone to a party and you see somebody you know and they give you something and you forgot to give them something, you just feel that awkward, sinking feeling like you just accepted a gift and you don't have anything to give back?
No, that's never happened to me. Usually I'm the one who gives something and they don't have anything for me. But yes, I get where you're going with that.
Oh, perfect. Well, see, I'm that dopey guy that sometimes I'll be with my wife or something and then she gives something and then I don't have anything. And so I'm that guy that says, oh, gosh, you know, I got to make sure. And we feel compelled when we receive something of value. It's not manipulation. It's just we're hardwired. When we receive something of value, oftentimes we feel an obligation to give. Second one is this, and we've all seen these horrible, horrible, tragic images around the holidays, and it's really the principle of scarcity at work. There's only so many of these amazing Beanie Babies or gifts or whatever it is. Walmart opens or some store opens and everybody just stampedes, knocking over everybody that would never hurt in a million years, but there's scarcity, that we want more of the things there are less of, and they just charge forward to try and grab these things, and people get hurt. That's the principle of scarcity. Authority is a really interesting one for us because, of course, we respond and we're more open to suggestion from someone or something that's an expert. If my sister tells me to do something about my health versus my doctor carries more weight. If she tells me, well, then I respond. It's my doctor. But my sister, it's just she's bugging me. Here's one that's interesting. I'll ask you, Eliana. Have you ever set a goal around the holidays or maybe around the new year, but you don't tell anybody because you don't want to be on record and then they're going to pressure you to do something?
Oh, God, yeah.
We all have. And so this is the principle of consistency. And you mentioned at the top of the hour that your son, for Halloween, wore a Trump costume, and then he followed through with that, and he said, you know, and although he's not a politician, he's just a kid, he says when you ask him who you're going to vote for, who do you want to vote for, he says, well, Trump. That's the principle of consistency. He dressed up as Trump for Halloween, and therefore he's now more consistent with a prior belief or commitment. That's a principle of consistency. We're going to show you how all this ties together in advertising. Here's one that's kind of fun. Have you ever been traveling, Eliana, in another city or another state or even another country, and you see somebody with a hat or a shirt that's from New Jersey, or if you're out of the country from the United States, and you feel like you could trust them to give you a good recommendation on a restaurant?
I was in Puerto Rico, and we saw some people that were wearing Phillies shirts. I was like, what are you guys doing here? And yeah, we wound up becoming friends with them just because we were in another country, and, you know, it was really cool.
That's so true. And so I use this image here because we can all identify with that, where our home team scores a game and we give somebody high fives that we just don't even know. And this poor guy, there was some bad consequences where he fell, he landed. But the point here is this: we're more inclined to trust people that we like or are similar to us. If they like the same football team, baseball team, or whatever, or they're from Philly and we're out in another country, we instantly gravitate towards them. The final one is this, and this one I love just because it's social proof: herd mentality. We often look to the actions of others to determine our own. And it's just programmed within us, and it runs in the background. When we're unfamiliar with the situation, we so often look to others. Now, how do we tie this together? I'm going to walk you through a quick before and after, and I would suggest to you this. As I do this, you don't even need to worry about the content of this ad. What I do want you to think about is for your next set of ads that you're either approving from your vendor or you're writing for yourself, drop those 6 principles next to your computer, and as you go through that, see which ones you can apply or amplify. Here's an example. This is actually a mix of before and after, but the first one was authority, top left. The Ford image in the profile image for the business page was this sort of Midwest Ford logo. Dealer group loved it. We said, nope, we want to swap it with just the Ford logo. Instantly, because you can see the Ford logo actually gets lost in that muddled sort of Midwest, Kansas City, or whatever it is, background. Once we dropped just the Ford logo in there, people responded to it because there is the impression of authority. Scarcity, fan exclusive. Once we started really including copy that said, hey, this is just for you. Time is running out. Down below to the right, scarcity, supplies are limited, offer available. Once we bumped up that copy and made it clear, people understood that they needed to get this now. Instantly, the ad started to convert better and better. Reciprocity, receive $50 when you drive a test drive a Ford. And reciprocity in the image was really, really important. You'll notice it's about 20% of the total image size. The first time the ad was running, that get $50, click here, was probably about 5% of the total image. And once we bumped that up, maxed it to the 20%, immediately the image started pulling better. Here's the funny one, though. Social proof. The ad was running, we'd isolated a target, and it was pulling pretty well, but it wasn't pulling as well as we thought it could. So we changed one piece of copy. We had this little social proof out. We said, is it possible people are afraid of getting scammed, or they don't know whether they'll really get it? So we just sort of theorized that. We dropped in the copy. We changed this little headline to join the 3,000 plus people. By the way, it was true. We'd served well over 3,000 test drives, and once we dropped that copy in, immediately the ad started to pull significantly better, and the ad was a success. The key here, takeaway, is this. When you have an ad or you get one from your vendor, the goal is not to create a post anymore. This isn't social media. This is developing a direct response offer to a specific target. Use the 6 principles, or 3 or 4 of them, and watch how your conversions rise and your cost of conversions fall. Again, I hope that's useful to you. And that leads us, of course, Eliana, to our next poll question.
All right, third poll question is on the screen now. We want to know, which of the following are you currently doing on Facebook? For this question, answer all that apply. So we have 5 answers up there. Let us know which ones you're currently doing at your dealership. Are you uploading customer lists and targeting them with Facebook ads? Are you creating and targeting lookalike audiences? Are you doing lead gen ads, carousel ads, or video ads? Once we get a majority of the votes in, we're going to close this poll, share the results, and then we'll know what all of us are doing. And Scott, you are killing it on this webinar. I've already had a handful of people write in and say, I like this guy already. This guy knows his stuff. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
Keep the automotive awesomeness coming. And audience, you got questions for this social media guru, Scott Empringham? I knew you'd like him. Come on, write in some questions for me, okay? We're going to be getting to that Q&A session after his presentation. All right, which of the following are you currently doing on Facebook? Are you uploading customer lists and targeting them with Facebook ads? Are you creating and targeting lookalike audiences? Are you doing lead gen ads, carousel ads, or video ads? For this one, hopefully you've picked all that applied. We'll give you another couple seconds, and then Scott, are you ready to see these answers?
I'm really excited. I've done this live, but this is so cool that you're doing these polls. Yes, I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Let's check this out. Audience, thank you so much for taking part in our poll questions. We got one more poll question coming at you in a little bit, but for right now, let's check out these answers. All right, 40% of today's audience say they are currently uploading customer lists and targeting them with Facebook ads. 43% of today's audience say they're creating and targeting lookalike audiences. Half of today's audience, 50%, said they are doing lead gen ads. 40% are doing carousel ads, and another 50% are doing video ads. So does that help you out, Scott?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it tells me 2 things. It confirms something that I've always believed. If a dealership or an internet manager, whoever you are on this call, you are one of the few who do rather than a bunch of people who talk about it, because these results blow me away. It shows me that this audience is among the cream of the crop, and I'm not saying that to pacify anybody or to blow smoke. You guys are definitely ahead, but it's sort of intuitive. If you're taking time out to be on this webinar, the chances are you're one of the few who do rather than many who talk. These numbers are fantastic. 40% are using lists to target. That's unheard of. I mean, I know that that's not standard in the automotive space. So this is, it's like the 80-20. The folks that are on this call are the 20%. They're the leaders. They're the ones that are on the cutting edge. I think it's fantastic.
Now, I know my audience can't talk, so I will talk for them, and I will say thank you. We know we are awesome. So go ahead.
Yeah, very, very
my
cool.
My audience is pretty awesome.
And so it also tells me that we're dealing with an advanced audience here, so that helps me as I walk through these things. I'm going to do the best I can to give you some things that even advanced audience may not know, rather than cover the total fundamentals. So it's very, very cool. That was helpful. Here's the next best customer hack. Now this is, I think it said 43% are doing lookalike. So this is for the 57% that are not doing lookalikes. It's simply this. One of the keys to advertising is to find people just like your best customers. Obviously, we've all heard the phrase, birds of a feather flock together. Well, nothing is more true. And on Facebook, we have the ability to actually mine our database and clone our best customers. So imagine you are selling F-150s or Toyota Tundras or whatever it is, and you want to find people who look just like that. Remember I said that fans, if you do have fans, there's still value? Clearly there is, but here's a couple of tips. One, you can upload, let's say, a customer database of F-150 owners or whatever, Subarus or whatever, but you want to go after a customer database, and you can upload that to Facebook. Then you can look at specific interests that your fans have. So you can really dial in an offer or a piece of creative that's really going to appeal to them, and then you plug it through Facebook, and it'll spit out people who look just like them. Obviously not physically, but demographic-wise, income-wise, lifestyles, and you can find a group of people that are very, very efficient to market to because they display all the attributes or many of the attributes of your best customers. And it's remarkably simple. 3 easy steps. And for the 60 some odd, about 60% or 57% that have not done lookalikes, check this out, super simple. Number 1, you upload your customer list to Facebook. 2, you choose lookalike versus reach. I would suggest lookalike versus reach. You've got the opportunity to say, do you want it to be more of a lookalike audience or do you want a bigger reach? Most of the time, dealerships we work with focus on lookalikes. And then you create and select the audience and you publish the ad. We have a 3-minute video for those of you who haven't yet done it, the 60%. Take a look at that 3-minute video, test it, spend $50, $100. Try it today or tomorrow as soon as you can and watch how effective you could be with lookalike audiences. Really simple, and we've got a 3-minute video that walks you through that. So before you go, and the key is this, and the promise of this, my hope, is that I'm giving you step-by-step how you can sort of activate a Facebook campaign in pieces and in chunks and build on what you've learned before, making it as efficient as possible as you move forward. Lookalikes are a more efficient buy, a less costly buy than conquest. You'll find your cost per lead, cost per click are lower for lookalikes than they are for pure custom audience or conquest audience. Now, let's assume you're doing customer lead gen. I want to say, Amber, or Amanda, do you remember what percentage it was did lead gen ads? 20% did lead gen ads. So for the 80% that haven't done lead gen ads, check this out. This will be kind of a refresher for those that are, but this will be new for those who don't. One is lead gen ads. One of the cool things about them is you can make exclusive offers. So you can do limited quantity, exclusive offers, targeting a specific group of folks. Let's say you had a first-time buyer program and you wanted to target a college campus. Remember that? We talked about it. You could put a pin on a specific location. And then you wanted to just separate out those people that were in market to buy a vehicle. You could even narrow the range for incomes. And you wanted to do a first-time buyer program that had a specific cash offer and you only wanted to offer a specific number. You can make it exclusive. 2, once someone clicks on the form, get a quote. The form automatically populates with their information, super simple. 3rd, if the form is customizable, if you do want to request a phone number or any additional information, it's really easy to do. Update that form to include more information. And then 4, the lead is delivered right into your Facebook account. And I will say this, and I'm going to do a small shameless plug. There are a handful of vendors out there that can make sure the lead goes right into your CRM system. Flashpoint is one of them. There's others out there. Find one that can get you a lead into your CRM system so you don't need to constantly check your Facebook account. Speed is everything with following up on leads, as you know. But those are the basics of a lead gen platform, excuse me, a lead gen ad, and they can be very, very effective. Carousel ads. Carousel ads, great way to reach people that are really in the shopping and consideration phase. And so images like this, there's 3 to 5 images that you can upload. Wonderful opportunity to give people a look at the different colors, different makes and models of vehicles, even different offers that you might have on different vehicles. Carousel ads can be turned into lead gen ads as well. Same thing as we talked about before, and the idea is to find a vendor that ideally can deliver those leads right into your CRM system so they don't get overlooked. Video ads. I look like about 20% we're doing video ads or 30% we're doing video ads. Really important. You can take a set of data, people that are in market to buy a vehicle, and Eliana, if you are an import buyer or an import owner, and I'm a domestic seller of vehicles, take a guess which typically is more effective at getting your attention. Would I go to you if you're an import buyer, and I know you're an import buyer because I can look at the data on Facebook and see, do you think you'd respond better to simply an offer and a lead gen ad, or you're more likely to engage with a video ad showing you other import buyers that switch to domestics?
Oh, probably the video ad, yeah.
Right? Well, so all the data is really important. So I share that because it's sort of intuitive when I phrase it that way, I know. But the idea is this: video ads can be really, really effective And oftentimes they're less effective at lead gen ads, but I do want you to know you have that ability. If you're producing video ads, I would highly recommend targeting the people who are less likely to buy, that you're really trying to conquest. Video ads can be very, very persuasive. In fact, so persuasive that Google just offered some data that just confirmed everything we're seeing. The number one driver of consideration for auto is video. And think about it. Do you want a great deal on a vehicle you don't want? Or do you want to see a video that's a really persuasive video or an interesting video that can show you a vehicle and surprise you and say, wow, I didn't know that it had those features. And then you can retarget someone after that with lead gen and shopping ads. And I've gotten way ahead of myself, and I'm going to back up and just simply say this. Video ads can be very, very effective for driving consideration. So in conclusion, the idea is this. You can generate your own leads, and you don't have to buy third-party leads. I'm not saying stop buying those, but you can generate your own leads, and we're seeing conversion rates of about 20%, meaning on Facebook, we're seeing on average 20% of the people willing to fill out a lead gen form if they're in market. It might be a little bit less now, but the key is this. What it tells us is lead gen ads are effective for a certain portion of shoppers on Facebook. But the next question is, how do you go after the other 80% or so that absolutely positively would never fill out a lead gen ad? The answer is shopping. There's wonderful opportunities to go after this group, and any good marketing program has multiple ways to reach an audience, and this is a great way to reach an audience. It's a shopping ad. Question: do you have ads, or offers or an audience that might respond better to a phone call? Many dealerships do, and many times you could take some of your best performing ads and just swap out the call to action, offer a phone number for your dealership, and people will be happy to call your dealership for more information on that ad. Other times they just want to shop anonymously. In fact, we saw some data from IHS that suggested 99% of the folks would prefer to shop anonymously versus fill out lead gen forms. And so there's conflicting data out there, but think about your own use and what you're seeing at a dealership. More and more people want to shop anonymously, so web-click ads can be very effective at finding an audience, delivering a piece of creative and an offer, and getting them to shop vehicle display pages, inventories, maybe a trade-in appraisal, and you can target the ad and set up the ad so it clicks through right to that vehicle display page. Very, very powerful. Carousel ads will work the same way with shopping ads. Same idea, of course. You can target them to a specific page. And, of course, video ads, same kind of thing. All very powerful. All could be part of your mix. All are available. Information's available on that one website address that we gave you. The key is this, and the takeaway is this. Lead gen ads will work for, if you have 100 customers, about 20% of them. Shopping ads will be very good for the other 80% of them. Use both, and you'll maximize your results guaranteed. Okay, we're going to shift gears now to Instagram. If I was in the audience, I'd ask you to all raise your hand and say how many of you guys have a business page, and somewhere it's around 20% that we've seen, maybe a little higher now. Instagram, couple of basics. 400 million active users, and I think the number has actually gone up. This is about 6 months old. 40 billion photos shared. I know that number's gone up. And approximately 73% of Instagram users are millennial. Clearly, anybody that's been on Instagram recognizes that it's extraordinarily visual media. And if you compare Facebook to Instagram, you see that Instagram takes up the full screen, which is why photographs are so important, which leads me to the problem. We'll talk to dealerships and dealer groups all the time, and we'll ask them, do you guys have a professional photographer taking really stunning images that are going to really capture people on Instagram? And the answer almost unanimously is no. We had this hack that I'm about to share with you. I promise you could be one of the most compelling things that you do, and I'm speaking directly to the people that have an Instagram account right now. This is for you guys, and you want a way to separate yourself from everybody else and get free photography from professional photographers in your area, and you won't pay them a dime to do it.
What?
This hack works for you. It worked for us. I know it sounds like...
I can't wait to hear this one. Go ahead.
All right, here we go. And I'm going to tell you, this was our secret sauce. We got a request for a client. to do Instagram accounts from around the country, and the budget was very, very small. And we kind of said, I don't know how we're going to do this. And we finally met a man who did some work with Jay Abraham, the guy I mentioned before, and this quote, "Your problem is someone else's solution." If I could, we should write that on Flashpoint's wall, because whenever we have a problem, this quote saves us. Your problem is someone else's solution. Here's how it worked. We looked for people on Instagram, and we said, we've got these 10 markets that want to do an Instagram page for their dealer groups. We found photographers in each one of those markets, professional photographers in photography clubs. And we said, how would you like it if we advertised your photography studio and spent, I don't know, $500 in Facebook ads every month promoting your studio? And they said, okay. And they said, okay, all you have to do is we're going to give you a couple of, kind of like a brief on what we shoot each month. And when you shoot it, you submit it to us, and we're going to put a little watermark at the bottom, and we're going to promote your studio. And they said, you would do that for us? Their problem was they weren't getting enough traction in their local markets for their photography studio. Our solution was, you go take pictures for us, we'll watermark and say the pictures were submitted by you guys, and promote the hell out of your studio with $500 or $1,000 in advertising in your local market. They stumbled all over each other, and they gave us so many photographs and so many extraordinary photographs that we didn't know what to do with them, and we had all the free photography from local photographers in those local markets. I'm talking Miami, Portland, Chicago, New York, all over the country. We got free photography, and I promise you could do the same. Your problem is someone else's solution. Go to some photographers. If you're already going to be putting $50 or $100 in advertising behind your campaigns anyway, put a watermark, do a trade with them, and they'll happily give you over photography that you could never take yourself. Does that make sense, Eliana?
I was just going to say, how good could the pictures have been? But these pictures are beautiful. What a great idea.
These are just some.
No, of course.
These are just some of them. And the cool thing is we dispatch them in all the local markets. And we got, obviously we don't have the budgets to fly people to the mountains and things like that. They really were amazing. And it can work for you.
Okay, and so my next question was, were the photographers happy? They were happy that they're...
The photographers were thrilled. They were unhappy when the campaign ended because it morphed into now dealers are doing it, which is wonderful. But they were extraordinarily happy. Their businesses did well. They could then say on their resumes, we did work for Ford or Toyota. And it gave them social proof to market to their customers. And they loved having their images advertised in their specific markets. So they got more awareness for their photography studio. Their businesses did well, ours did well, and it was fantastic.
Love it. All right, what else you got?
Key is this, same engine, new destination. Everything you could do on Facebook, you could do on Instagram with the exception of lead gen ads. And here are 6 apps. Take a picture of it, write them down, or we'll get you the presentation afterwards, that can absolutely improve the engagement and the activity on your Facebook, or excuse me, your Instagram accounts for absolutely nothing. The key here is it's the same engine, new destination. Your problem is someone else's solution. Work with some photographers. I promise you get some free photography. Next hack, dominate your next event. What if I could tell you you could dominate your next event with millennials for about $50 or $70 in a brand new way using Snapchat? Before I tell you that, I'm just going to kind of orient you. 150 plus million users per day, 10 billion video views per day. It's the second most active social media network, and I'm sure many of the folks on the phone already are using Snapchat. If you aren't, you snap a picture or a video, you text, you can chat with your friends, and of course you can create stories. All of those things last about 24 hours. They're here today, gone tomorrow. One of the reasons why it's so sticky. The key for dealers is this. They can go to local events, or maybe they participate in high school athletics, or they've got a high school ride and drive. This gives them a way to be seen and be sent in a brand new way with the millennial audience for about $90, $50. It's dirt cheap, and it has surprising results. And there's really only 3 things you need to do. Let's assume, for the sake of this argument, that you sponsor local high school football games, or whatever it is. You could create a geo filter, And a GeoFilter is just that little creative overlay that when you swipe to the right, you can get these little creative overlays after you snap a picture or video, and it enhances the image or the video that you're already sending out. You create a GeoFilter. You geofence, let's say in this case, the stadium. And then for about 90 bucks, you could literally start the ad at 8 a.m., end it at 5 p.m., or whatever time frame you want, cover the specific area you want to cover. Anybody and everybody, unlimited usage within that high school area that's taking pictures and videos will use that Snapchat filter, or they can use that Snapchat filter. Wonderful sense of discovery. We've done it for dealerships, and they've tested it and gotten amazing feedback on Monday morning and after the football games. Hey, I saw your filter, and my kids were using it, we saw it, and great way to just test something out. We've gotten fun results from that, so I'd offer that as a way to dominate your next local ride and drive or any kind of event with Snapchat. And the final one. This one is probably worth its weight in gold. Look before you leap. And I don't think we have another poll question. Oh, we do actually. Never mind. Look before you leap. This one is really cool. Just like you wouldn't want to dive into a pool without knowing how much water is in the pool, neither would you want to really advertise just willy-nilly in a market without having a deep and fundamental, clear understanding of your market. So the idea is this. The tools exist right now on Facebook to know your market so well it would blow your mind. You could drop a pin on your dealership, draw a circle around your dealership, and I'm going to make up 25 miles. Maybe yours is different. 25 miles around your dealership, and then literally light it up and say, okay, here's how many active Facebook users are in my market, and then eliminate anybody that's not in market, isolating just the people who are, and then you can even run some simulations to find out what's the minimum ad spend it would take to reach these guys effectively, and if I could, how many of them would probably click through to my website? Wouldn't it be cool to know that? So my question is, and let me just make sure that I got this set up before the poll question, you have the tools right now to find out how many active Facebook users there are, identify and isolate your in-market audience for cars, trucks, and SUVs that you sell, and then you can even figure out what the average advertising spend would need to convert them to your website, which leads us to a poll question. Eliana?
Thank you very much, sir. All right, last poll question is on the screen now. We want to know, have you ever done a Facebook audit like that of your market area? Please select one of the following answers. Yes, I've done this exact thing and I'm benefiting from it. Yes, but I don't know what my budget or ROI should be. You know, I did it, it's been a while ago, maybe I should do it again. No, but I'd like it, and I see the value in that. Let's do an audit. I have never seen this before, but I'm not seeing the value of it. All right, so whatever your answer is, we want to know. Votes are coming in fast. Once we get a large majority of the audience, we'll close this poll and share the results. We want to know, have you ever done a Facebook audit of your market area like the one Scott just described? Yes, and it's awesome. Yes, but I don't know what my budget or ROI should be. You know, I did it. It's been a while ago. Maybe I should start doing it again. No, I've never done this Facebook audit thing in my market, but I like it. Or, you know, I've never seen this before, but I don't think I'd ever do that. So, Scott, when you're ready, we are way over time, so I know we have to get going. But let me close this poll and share the results. Audience, thank you so much for answering all 4 of our poll questions. We really, really appreciate it. And here we go with the last answers to the last poll questions. 7% of today's audience said yes, they have done a Facebook audit of their market area, and they love it. 2% of today's audience said they have done a Facebook audit, but they're not sure what their budget or their ROI should be. 12% of today's audience said they did it, it was a while ago, maybe they should do it again. But the overwhelming majority, 78%, said no, they've never done a Facebook audit of their market area, but they like it and they see the value in it. Scott?
This is fantastic. So for the 78% or even the 93% that haven't done it but would potentially see the value of it, you are in luck. I am so pleased to be on this this webinar that we worked out with Dealer On. You guys exclusively get a free market analysis, no obligation. To claim it, you do need to just go to fpcdigital.com/10hacksma, and you will get a free market analysis. Our media team will go in and look at your specific market, and they will tell you, one, how many Facebook users are in your area, active Facebook users are in your area. Two, how many users are actively looking to buy in market or near in market, and the estimated results of a Facebook advertising campaign. You can then use that as a benchmark to check your current vendor, check other vendors. Wonderful way to really get an understanding of your market. Or in some cases, we've worked with dealers that are in really rural areas where we actually tell them, I wouldn't recommend it. A wonderful value. I hope you take advantage of it. It's free and exclusive only to the people that are on this call.
Oh my gosh, that is incredibly generous. Thank you. On behalf of all of my listeners, thank you.
You're very, very welcome. It's a pleasure to be on here, which leads me to this. These are the 10 hacks. In summary, we've covered a lot today. You have to pay to play. Facebook is a paid platform. If you're new, start with your best customers, and when creating an image or an ad, start with the image. That's what the eyes gravitates to. Use direct response persuasion. Printing out those 6 principles could be just deadly for you in your efforts. Target lookalikes. When you're fishing for customers, use a combination of lead gen ads and shopping ads. And remember, your problem is someone else's solution. Think creatively, and you can get amazing content for just about all of your platforms. Test Snapchat. If you want to go after millennials, this is where a massive number of millennials are. And then finally, look before you leap. Know your market better than anybody, and you now have a tool that can give you that data absolutely free. We would invite you to go to our resource page, fpcdigital.com/dealers/resources.aspx. We wanted to get a longer website address for you, but there weren't any characters. Sorry about that, but that's what it is. fpcdigital.com/dealers. Please go to the resource page. We've got free videos for you. You name it. Everything we covered is on this website. Videos, templates, you name it, everything. And I think, Eliana, do I go to the next slide?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, sorry about that. Action items. If your current social media agency hasn't provided the answers to the following questions, I want you to demand that they do. What sales can I expect? How many leads can I expect? How many conversions to my website can I expect with an ad campaign? Forget about likes, comments, and shares. Ask them specific ROI type questions. How many sales? How many leads? How many visits to my website? How many shopping actions? And then what is your strategy for turning shoppers into buyers? You tell me, vendor, how are you reaching my hot customers? How are you reaching my warm customers that maybe own a different import? If I'm a domestic, how are you reaching those guys? How are you talking to those guys differently? What's your strategy to convert them? And then, by the way, if you're delivering leads, how are you going to get those leads directly to my CRM system so you can make my life easier? And then finally, will you give me a campaign performance guarantee? Like DealerOn, you guys are fantastic at offering actually a performance guarantee. Demand that of your social media agency. I promise you, there's partners out there that will do that and give you a guaranteed performance or your money back. And DealerOn, you guys are among the best in the world at doing that, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy to be teamed up with you guys. We are like that very much.
Thank you.
And which makes me to the next one, Q&A.
Big yellow question mark. All right, audience, if you haven't gotten in your question yet for the amazing Scott Empringham, what are you waiting for? Let's get those questions in. We only have a handful of questions in, but we are over on time, so we're going to try and get to as many questions as possible. And I also want to direct your attention to the handouts section of the GoToWebinar interface. In there you will see one very valuable handout in there. It is today's slide deck. You have until the end of this broadcast to download that handout and be able to use it at your leisure. We hope that you will do that because I think there's a lot of amazing information in there, not to mention a lot of great links as well. So like I said, download it now and send in those questions. Before we get to those questions, however, we got some fun business to take care of, don't we, Scott?
Yes.
Yeah, let's turn on our webcams so that they can see us.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. All right. Well,
All right.
if you were here at the beginning of the webinar, then you heard me announce that our great friends over at Flashpoint, they're giving away some amazing prizes today on the webinar. Whew, I'm sweating. It's such good prizes. Anyway, we have 3 different prizes for you. And yes, one of them is a grand prize. But for right now, we are going to start giving them away. But so what do we need you to do? We need you to get to your keyboards, get those fingers ready. First person to write in the correct response is going to be winning a very, very cool prize. Now, as you can see, all of these prizes are intended for dealership personnel only. So vendors out there, we love that you come to the Dealer On webinars. However, we're going to ask you to please sit this one out as these prizes are intended for dealerships. All right, everyone, here we go, and good luck. All right, first prize, I love this. Do you want some of the best strategies in thinking around and to get an edge with social media? Well, this is your chance to win a Gary Vaynerchuk book set. You're going to win 2 books from him, Ask Gary V and Jab, 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 Right Hook. So all you have to do is be the first person to answer this question. Good luck, everyone. According to data from Facebook, what percentage of online Facebook shoppers typically are willing to fill out their personal data in a lead gen ad? That is right. 20 was the correct answer. Almost everyone got that one right. First person to win, get it right, is David Sharp. Hey, David, how you doing? It's been a while since you won a prize on my webinar, but here you are again, David Sharp. Aren't you lucky? You just won 2 books from Gary Vaynerchuk, courtesy of our friends over at Flashpoint. David Sharp. Hey, David, send me your mailing address as soon as you can, all right? All right, David, you know what? You can also sit this one out. You're already a winner today, my friend. We got 2 more prizes to give away, and here we go. The second prize, I'm going to tell you all about it right now. Do you want to dominate your next local event and reach millennials in a brand new way? Well, this complimentary Snapchat campaign will do just that. You choose the event, Flashpoint will do the rest. This awesome prize is valued at $200, and it includes everything you'll need: personalized account management, the media buy, as well as a custom Snapchat geo filter. All you have to do is be the first person to answer this next question. It's not an easy one, so good luck. Earlier in the presentation, Scott discussed the 6 principles of persuasion. We need you to name 4. Name 4 of the 6 principles of persuasion. Hope you guys wrote it down. Oh, let's see. Okay, I know you know the answer, but if you didn't write it in. Okay, let's see. That is not correct. That is not correct. Oh, I think we have a winner here. Hold on. Social proof, liking, consistency, and authority. All right, Dana Hill, you are the first person who wrote in the correct answer. That is correct. And just so everyone knows, the 6 principles of persuasion are reciprocity, scarcity, authority, consistency, liking, and social proof. Congratulations, Dana Hill. You are winner number 2 today, and we are just cruising through these giveaways. We have one last amazing giveaway to give out. Dana, I don't think we need anything from you. Scott, we don't need her mailing address or anything, right? We have her contact information. All right, Dana, you're good. Dana, you can join David in sitting this one out. You guys are going to be fine. You'll be hearing from our friends over at Flashpoint about claiming that amazing prize. But last but certainly not least is our grand prize. Wait till you guys hear about this one. Whew, I'm starting to sweat over here. This is a big one. Do you want a chance to see everything you learned today in action for your store? Hell yeah, you do. Well, Flashpoint is going to do just that at no charge. Valued at $5,000, Flashpoint will work directly with your team, develop a custom ad campaign designed to drive shopping traffic and leads for the vehicle or vehicles of your choice. And they're going to handle everything. All you have to do is manage the leads and sell the cars. Everything else is going to be turnkey. What an amazing prize right before the holidays. This is great. The only thing they ask is if you love the results that you agree to give them a testimonial so that you can become a case study for other dealers. If you are not comfortable with that, do not enter this contest. all right? I'm going to say that now. If you are not comfortable being the subject of a case study, please do not enter this contest and leave this prize to somebody who is. Other than that, we're ready to go. This is not an easy question. You had to really been looking at the slides to get this one right. I hope you were. Good luck, everyone. This is a great prize. What are the names of the 2 colleges that Scott attended? This is a really hard question. I hope you have a backup question. I don't know if anyone knows this one. He didn't even say them. It was just like on the slide. Oh my God, I can't believe somebody got it right. Are you kidding me?
You got it?
Yes! Marcos Arroyo, USC and UCLA. Holy moly. How did you do that, Marcus? I got to admit, Marcus, I'm really impressed with you, man. You are the grand prize winner today. And Marcus, I don't think I have seen your name come across my screen. Marcus, if you would do me a favor and let me know what dealership you're from so I can let everyone know that you are our grand prize winner today. Of course, we got to thank David Sharp and Dana Hill. Congratulations on today's wins. And Marcus Arroyo, who still hasn't let me know what dealership he's from, congratulations to you, sir. You're going to be hearing from our good friends over at Flashpoint about collecting that prize. Marcus Arroyo is from Preferred Auto Group in LaGrange.
Nice.
Congratulations, and thank you everyone for playing along. You know what? We give away cool prizes every week. We only had 3 winners today, but you know what? You could be a winner too. Just come on back to another Dealer On webinar, and who knows, that could be your lucky day to win a great prize on a Dealer On webinar. But for right now, David Sharp, Dana Hill, and Marcus Arroyo, congratulations on your wins. And of course, we got to thank our good friends over at Flashpoint for their incredible generosity. Amazing, amazing giveaways. Thank you so much, everyone. All right. Scott, if you're ready, let's go to the next slide and let's give away some amazing answers to these great questions we got coming in from the audience. First of all, let me say to Rebecca, she asked, where do I obtain the deck for the presentation? Rebecca, look in the handouts section of your GoToWebinar interface, and in there you will see one handout, and it will be today's slide deck, and then you can download it directly from there. All right? All right. First question comes in from Jeff. Jeff says, Scott, have you ever implemented offline events tracking into your ads, and have you seen positive results, if so?
Gosh, not for a while. I'm trying to think. That's a really good question. Off the top of my head, we do a lot of stuff where we'll work. Well, I was just at an event. It was the RV conference, and what we did was we did video ads. And we targeted everybody that was attending the event with video ads. And we did it 2 ways. Number one is we got the list of all the attendees at this RV conference. We loaded into Facebook and served them video ads directly. And then, of course, we geo-targeted, we targeted everybody that had likes and interests of RVs before I got to the convention. The funny thing is I flew back from Vegas last night, but when I got there 2 days ago, the recognition was unbelievable. When I got there, people literally just walked up to me and said, hey, you're the guy, that, and I see your video ads every time I'm on Facebook. And we did a really amazing job targeting it because I was like a quasi-celebrity at the RV convention. So I'm not sure that answers your question in terms of doing marketing offline to get people online, but we did it the other way around to try and make an impact at an event that we were going to. And so I'd highly suggest if you do have an event, perhaps consider ways that you can create awareness of the event before you even get there. And that to us made a huge difference when we got there. We already had people pre-framed on liking Flashpoint and being interested in Flashpoint. That's how we use Facebook, to create awareness before the event.
All right, Jeff, I hope that helps you out. Certainly, if you have a follow-up question, we're here for you, so write on in and let me know. We only have a handful of questions to get through today, and then we'll close out the show. All right, your next question comes in from Tim. Hi, Tim. He says, Scott, I hate to admit it, but I am unfamiliar with some of the content that you've shared. What is the best way for me to become more educated on how social media works, especially when it comes to ad placement and how to do it? Scott?
So a couple of things. One is if you want to educate yourself, I would make yourself available to any of the digital dealer conventions. There's a number of dealer type conventions. And Eliana, you know some of the other ones as well. Dealer On, being a part of Dealer On's educational series, all the different webinars they do, pick and choose some of the social media webinars. Go to the digital dealer events. There's all kinds of events that are probably even in your area, or webinars that you'll get exposure to, and be on as many as you can. In terms of the specific ad platform, I'm going to actually answer the question a different way. The way to learn anything very quickly is not trial and error. It's to model somebody. So if you want to learn tennis, you go get a coach and you hire a coach. My recommendation would be hire a vendor. It doesn't have to be us. It could be anybody else. Get a performance guarantee. Lock in to make sure they really understand the market. Use our action items as a way to really confirm that the vendor's right for you. Ask them those tough questions. And when you find them, ask for a 90-day trial. Ask for a 90-day trial. Hire them for 90 days, just like you would a tennis coach or whatever kind of coach you want, a fitness coach, and watch what they do and learn from them for 90 days. If it's a good fit, keep them. If not, you've learned what you need to learn, then take it over. Modeling success is the fastest way to learn. Otherwise, you go do trial and error, or there's all kinds of books and conventions, things like that. My recommendation would be hire somebody for 90 days. It's a good fit for you to learn everything you possibly can from them.
I like it.
Hopefully that helps.
And Tim, don't forget to check out that resource section that Scott said earlier, because it looked like they had a lot of great videos too that might help you out. All right, Tim, if you got a follow-up question, we're here for you, babe. Right on in. All right. Next question, Scott, comes to you from Dan. Dan says, when you create a lookalike audience, it doesn't seem that you can target a specific geographical area other than a country. What am I missing? So I think he was trying to do it while he was on the show right now. Is there something, is there a setting that we're missing?
You don't have to be perfectly honest. I don't know the specific setting. I do know this. If you go into, do you know? Okay, grab Jimmy if you would. I do know that if you go on one of the videos, we actually walk you through how to do the lookalike audience. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Go to the resource section that we have, look at the video, and then literally just watch a 3-minute video, and we walk you through step by step exactly how to do that. Off the top of my head, I'm afraid I don't know.
I like that idea. All right, Dan.
I know you can target other geographies besides the country.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, Dan, thank you so much for that question. If you have a follow-up, we're right now. We're going to help you out, all right? All right, your next question comes in from Sorrel, however you say that name. It's a very cool name. All right, the question is, do you think a fully fledged Facebook, Snapchat, or Instagram program can be managed by one person at the dealership that has other multiple advertising and marketing responsibilities? And be fair, I know you're selling such services, so straight up, is it possible? Come on, Scott, straight up. They like honesty.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you straight up. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible to do it. I don't know if it's possible to do it extraordinarily well. I think just like anything else, when you're doing 10 things, how good are you really going to be at it? My question is intuitively you already know the answer to that. You can work harder. It is possible to do it. Is it possible to be as effective as somebody that's their job and that's what they're doing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? It doesn't compare. There's a lot smarter people that have written books. Malcolm Gladwell has a book called 10,000 Hours. He has a principle called 10,000 Hours. When you focus on something and that's what you're doing, you're going to be you're going to be better at it than somebody who's doing it part-time. The answer is this. Yes, you could do it. No, I don't think you do it as well as somebody that's their primary focus.
All right. Well, just so you know, David wrote in, that's a great answer. And by the way, Sorrel, if you have a follow-up question, we're here for you. Dan from the last question says, thanks, I'll check out that video. I've been trying to get the geographical area narrowed down for months now and have had no success. So Dan, best of luck.
Tell us if you have any questions on it too, then we're happy to help.
Okay, great. Next question comes in from Allison. And Allison says, have you ever really had much success with carousel ads?
Yes, I'm going to tell you the secret of carousel ads right now, and I'm going to see if I can boil it down real easy. Now, this is like whoever Sorrel asked a question about, can you do it well? Can you do it if you're doing a million other things? You cannot do something like this. Here's the art of a carousel ad. We could take a group of in-market shoppers, and if you take a group of in-market shoppers, there's a couple of ways to bucket them into hot prospects, warm prospects, and cold prospects. Let's say I'm selling Fords. I know that cold prospects are probably current import buyers. They're harder to convert to a domestic, right? A warm buyer might be a domestic owner who owns another type of vehicle, a non-Ford vehicle, and maybe is taking some limited shopping actions on Ford. And a hot prospect would be guys who own, or men and women who own a Ford that are now in market to buy another Ford. So hopefully you get a picture kind of in your head of those three different types of groups. If I can target somebody, let's say Eliana is an import buyer, she drives a BMW, but she's in market, I know that. And she's already, I can see by her Facebook shopping actions, she's already liked a Fusion page, and I sell Fusions, okay? But she's a current BMW buyer. She would be a right candidate to target with a carousel ad because ultimately, like I know she's shopping for Fords, she's a likely candidate to say, oh wow, I'm already shopping for Fords or Fusions, and here's a set of vehicles that I could choose from, different colors, or I could compare, or maybe I could do a carousel ad where she can compare with other vehicles, or offers that might be available to her, or inventory that might be available to her. The more I know about the actual prospect, the better I am at targeting them with the right ad. Example I used earlier, if Eliana was an import buyer that had no interest in Ford, ideally I'd serve her a video ad. If she engaged with that Fusion ad, I would immediately retarget her with carousel ads so she could choose from all of our different, see all the different features and benefits and colors of the Fusion.
I like
Hopefully
it.
that helps.
Okay, hopefully it
It's
does.
knowing your customer.
All right. We do have just a last couple of questions. We're really over on time. I do have a follow-up question from Jeff. Jeff was the very first question that I had asked you, Scott. And he says, from what I know, you can upload an offline purchase file, including customer contact info and the product purchased, for example. And then Facebook can match that up to the users who were shown your ad to add offline events to your conversion picture. We just uploaded the files and are waiting for the data. Was curious to see if you had used it.
Off the top of my head, I haven't, but please email me. We've got a whole media team out here that works with all different dealerships, and if it's been done, we've probably done it. Drop me a note on it. I'm afraid off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay, Jeff, please do that. As you can see, he's a super nice guy and he really knows his stuff, and he has some really great people working with him. So don't hesitate to reach out to Scott. He's a wonderful guy. All right, last question for you, Scott, comes in from Mike. He says, do you recommend vehicle images from my store, or do you think we should be using stock images?
All the data that I can see, absolutely use images from your store. However, I've been surprised so many times. Test it. Run 2 ad sets, one of images from your store, and run another ad with other types of images from your agency or whatever, and see which one works. We found that images from stores, the image from your lot, taken with your iPhone, performs so beautifully because it's almost like classified ads. People want to know that you've got that vehicle in stock, and so there's something very authentic about it. A theory. But don't trust the theory, test it. The cool thing is you can test it tomorrow, run 2 ad sets, spend $50, and find out which works better for you.
I love it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Mike. I hope that answered your question. Scott, if it's even possible, you were even better than I thought you were going to be. You are an amazing presenter. Thank you so much. I'd love to see you back on the show again in 2017. If you can carve out a little date for me again, okay? Amazing webinar. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to work with you. For everyone else, you need more information about social media? He's the dude. Come on, reach out to him directly and see if Flashpoint might be able to help you out with your social media. Okay, but for right now, we're going to thank Scott and all of his expertise. I want to remind the audience that a link to download a copy of this webinar recording is going to be emailed to you later today. Please feel free to share it with your friends and colleagues. You can also find the recording posted online at dealeron.com/webinars, and from there you can also check out our upcoming webinar schedule and our past webinars too. Also want to let you know, yes, this webinar is going to conclude in just another minute, and when it does, you're going to get a short survey. Please fill it out. I mean, I loved this webinar, but I want to know what you thought. Did you like it? Please give us your feedback in this very short survey. We'd love to see your thoughts on this. Also, Dealeron's going to be hosting another Top Golf event. It's going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona this time. You close by? And even if you're not, Hey, you know what? This event is free. It is Google, golf, and drinking. Hello. This is a great event, and every single one has just been top notch, and everyone who's been to one has said they haven't had a better event ever. So please check out a Topgolf event near you. This one is going to be December 7th in Scottsdale, Arizona. We'd love to see you there, so check out that tiny URL link. All you have to do is show up, all right? And you're going to have a day full of automotive awesomeness ahead of you, all right? And invitations will be going out tomorrow for our next Dealer On webinar, where an expert from Microsoft, this is our first Microsoft speaker, she's going to discuss the true value of search. Each day, millions of people use their computers and handheld devices to check out the World Wide Web several times a day, sometimes for hours at a stretch. And whether it's for research or shopping or just plain old surfing, there's no denying that search has become essential to, well, everyone. It's more important than ever to recognize the value of SEO and the impact it has on your business, your brand, and your bottom line. Does your dealership really understand the true value of search? To clear it all up and lay down some much-needed knowledge, we called in the big guns. Christy Olson, the search evangelist from a little company called Microsoft, is going to school us all on the true value of search. In this eye-opening one-hour webinar, Christy is going to take a deep dive into the value of search across the customer decision journey. You simply can't afford to miss this hour of awesomeness. So if you're ready to hear an expert from Microsoft discuss the true value of search, then register now, and don't forget, Dealer On's weekly webinars are held every Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific. If you have questions, comments, or suggestions regarding our webinars and our topics, hey, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. I'm all over the web. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. I'm on all the automotive social networks, or you know what? You can just email me directly at eliana@dealeron.com. Thank you all so very much for spending this time with us today. Hope to see you all on another webinar in Dealer On's continuing education series. And hey, tomorrow is Veterans Day. To all my military brothers and sisters, I stand with you always. So enjoy your day. And to everyone else, please thank a veteran. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you around next time.